The Joe Rogan controversy shows just how palatable and acceptable racism still is in mainstream society. I want to first lay a couple things out, put on the table. First of all, I don't really listen to Joe Rogan except enough to be knowledgeable about it. And I don't really care about him. I don't really like him. I don't care whether he's canceled or not. I have no interest in canceling Joe. I want to talk about what I think everybody's missing about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is sitting on the hot seat. Spotify has had to answer for things. Joe Rogan kind of gave an apology. Spotify said some stuff to their staff and then said, we're going to throw some money at marginalized groups in the hopes that y'all won't care about this anymore. But in all the discussion that's going on, everybody's missing the point. Because people are projecting onto the Joe Rogan story how they feel about things like censorship and cancel culture and this and that. And all this projection is leaving us without intelligent conversation about what's going on. And I want to talk about what's really going on with Joe Rogan's controversy because you deserve to hear what is really going on. The reality is this. For a lot of people in the United States and around the world, racism is palatable. Racism is fine. It's not fine around everyone. And so you're not going to see these folks display the racism around you maybe. You might not see it at work. You might not see it at church. You might not see it at the bar. You might not see it in these different places. But they feel this way behind the scenes. And they talk to each other about this stuff when you're not around. And sometimes you are around and you hear it and you're fine with it, wherever you fall. And so why do I say all this? Because Joe Rogan's N-word clips and his racist comments, none of it's new. None of it is new. He has been talking like this for a long time. And Spotify still gave him a 9-figure check. He still became the number one podcaster. He's still the number one podcaster in I think they said 60 or 90 markets. In a bunch of markets, Spotify's like, yeah, he's still number one. So if Joe Rogan is still number one, despite these racist comments that he's made, if he still gets this treatment and still benefits, then that tells me this is not a new problem. And so if this is not a new problem, then the question becomes, okay, so why wasn't it a problem in the past? How did he still get the deal? And all of this gets to the point. It's fine for most people that Joe Rogan talks like this. Because a lot of people, more than you might be comfortable acknowledging, talk just like Joe. I've heard people say, well, he reminds me of the older stoned brother. And I'm like, so you have an older stoned racist brother? Because that Planet of the Apes comment, the jokes about the N-word, dropping it like that? Nah, man, there's no excuse for that. There is no other explanation other than he's racist. And I think what's tripping a lot of people up is they think that with somebody like Joe Rogan, he can't be racist because he's not wearing a sheet on his head. He doesn't have a tiki torch. He doesn't have a southern accent. He's not in overalls. He can't be racist. Y'all, as one who studied racism and has lived experience that some of y'all don't have, y'all, racists are all over the country. They're all over the United States. They're in California. They're in Texas. They're everywhere. They're in New York. They're in Florida. They're everywhere. And they're in Britain. They're in Australia. They're all over the world. Okay? Joe Rogan is not exempt from being a racist just because he's got some views that you think are on the left. Joe Rogan's not exempted from being a racist because he's had some black people on the show. That's not how racism works, y'all. And if you think it does, you are not properly educated on this subject and you need to educate yourself more. So, the takeaway from Joe Rogan, the takeaway from this whole situation is actually very simple. We need to ask ourselves, why wasn't it a problem before? Why was Joe Rogan's behavior, these old clips that they dug up, why wasn't it a problem before? Why was it not a problem before Spotify signed him to the deal? Why wasn't it a problem before he made all the money on YouTube? Why wasn't it a problem before all these people got on his side and said, oh, we should defend Joe Rogan because of free speech? This is not about free speech. This is about racist speech. Again, people are projecting. They're making it about free speech and censorship and all this other stuff and cancel culture because they don't want to be told what to do. They want to be able to do whatever they want, including use the N-word with the hard ER at the end whenever they want. And they want to be able to do it without consequences. That's what this is all about. People defending Joe want to be able, or at least think, that they should be able to say whatever they want without consequences. And their problem is not that they can't say it, because you can say the N-word if you want. You can do whatever you want. But it's the consequences people don't want to deal with. And that's why they're secretly mad. So if you like this video, let me know by clicking like. That helps me know what you appreciated, if you liked it, if you didn't. If you don't like what I'm saying, if you don't agree with me at all, tell me in the comments, because I would love to engage with you respectfully, of course. If it's not respectfully, then I will get rid of your comment and move on. But I would love to talk with you more about this because I've got the education and the lived experience to know that this is how it works. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.